how to become more focused than 97.8% of people. Let's talk about it. This one is going to be extremely practical and straight to the point. And actually there is only one step, but that step has a couple of layers. First, let's clarify what type of focus we are talking about. We are talking about macro focus or long-term focus. That is your ability to stay on track, your ability to resist the shiny object syndrome, your ability to remember where you're headed and to keep moving in that direction day by day. Why are we talking about this type of focus? Because if you have a strong macro focus, it is infinitely easier to have strong micro focus. That is your ability to focus on the task at hand and resist daily digital distractions that we are all facing throughout the whole day. Okay, we know what type of focus we are talking about. Now let's dive into how you can become more focused than almost any single person that you will ever meet in your life. Take a piece of paper and a pen and write down the question. What is the most important task slash project slash mission in my life right now? And you are not getting up from the desk until you answer that question. And now you might say, oh, well, this is a great idea and it's easy to say it, but it's not easy to answer because I have no idea what my main mission, task, project is. Well, here's the thing. I'm here to give you the reframe where you will understand that it is impossible to not be able to answer that question. We are going to take insight from the great Viktor Frankl, the psychologist and psychiatrist, the founder of logotherapy, famous for his great, immense work, Man's Search for Meaning. In Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl presents the idea of having a meaning of your life at a point of your life. There is no single universal meaning of life for all humans, but also he's making an argument that there is no single meaning of your life from the moment you're born to the moment you die, but that you need to look at your life as a journey and identify the current meaning. So, what is the current task, mission, project? Allow yourself to not think in terms of finding the purpose of your life, meaning, mission. Allow yourself to say, okay, if I am not now in a place where I can genuinely see what I could focus on for decades, let me at least identify what this chapter of my life is about. And maybe this chapter is the next month until I pass that exam. Maybe it's the next 15 days until I give that pitch for my new business. Maybe it's 3 months until I give that presentation at work. Maybe it's until the end of this calendar year, until I sort out certain goals that I already have and certain private matters. But you have to identify the meaning or mission or task of the current chapter of your life and embrace the fact, embrace the opportunity that you don't have to identify the, with capital T, the meaning, the mission of your life, the purpose of your life right now. Hopefully that will happen as you are engaging in your life, as you are living out your life. But now you have the task, the duty, and absolutely you have the ability to answer the question, what is the most important task, mission, project of this chapter of my life? When you have that answer, every single day when you wake up, you're going to read that statement, that answer. Every single afternoon you're going to read it. Every single evening you're going to read it. If you want to go a step further, and let me tell you that you should absolutely go a step further, set 7 to 10 alarms throughout the day with that statement. Set 15 alarms if you feel like you really need it. Like, okay, this is it. I cannot keep losing my energy, losing my attention losing my potential by being scattered, by being pulled in so many different directions, by forgetting, continuously forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be headed. Set 15 alarms. But it is that simple. It's not easy, it is that simple. I told you there is only one step. There is only one step. Identifying the current task, mission, project, and consistently reminding yourself of it. Okay, maybe that's 2 steps. But I think it's fair to say this is so simple, straightforward, and to the point that we can call it 1 step. Once again, if you haven't read Viktor Frankl, maybe that's one of the tasks for you to go spend some time reading Man's Search for Meaning. Once again, remember Frankl's insight that we have meanings. We have meanings. When he was in concentration camps, or in a concentration, he spent time in multiple concentration camps. When he was in a particular concentration camp, he explained to himself, he arrived at the insight, and he committed, as a true existentialist, he committed to the insight that his meaning of life at that point was to finish his book that he felt was supposed to be shared with the world, to share the idea of logotherapy. He never claims anywhere that that was the meaning of his life with capital T. Maybe we think that was the meaning of his life because of the influence that he has made on the rest of the world. But he never claims it. He identified completion of the book and sharing the idea of logotherapy as a meaning of his life at a point of his life. As far as I'm familiar with his work and with his life story, there was a period of his life where his meaning was to be a father and a husband, and to be the best father and husband that he could be. Let's bring it back to you. This chapter of your life, what is the most important task, mission, project for you to commit to, for you to stay focused on? Answer that question, remind yourself of it. Remind yourself of it to the point where you think, okay, now I'm becoming a bit weird. Go that far. Go that far. I've done it. I've done it about 7 years ago, when my alarm would go off at work and some of my colleagues would see what was written. I'm not going to say right now what was written, but it was a couple of different short quotes, one of them in Latin, and they were like weirded out. What is this guy doing? There's alarm going off every hour on the hour. Well, I stay focused, or I stayed focused, and I'm still staying focused on a different mission, let me tell you that much, on a different mission, on a different meaning, on a different project. But back then, it helped me to stay focused. Right now, I'm not using alarms. I'm going to be straightforward because I've developed the practice of reminding myself, but I use my journal. I write that statement to myself at least once per day. I say it to myself sometimes hundreds of times per day, as weird as it sounds, but it works. This will help you be more focused and more clearly directed towards your mission than almost any single human that you will ever meet in your life. As always, stay strong, never feel sorry for yourself, always love this magical experience we call life. Light that raging fire in your heart, stay focused, and always go beyond.